How's it going, everyone? This is Daniel. In this video, we are going to be talking about SoFi stock. So we're going to go over a look at SoFi earnings. We are going to be hearing from the CEO. This was a massive earnings announcement by SoFi. They became profitable. We're going to be talking about what kind of price action to expect for SoFi stock for the next few days, for the next few weeks. We're going to be talking about what kind of price target changes that analysts could potentially provide for SoFi stocks that we're going to be talking about in detail in this video. So make sure you stay tuned. Now let's get right into the video. As you can see over here, we have SoFi stock. It's up 20.21% to the upside. It's been a massive day for SoFi stock. Let's go over the main reason why. Of course, it's mainly because the company announced its first profitable earnings release. So we're going to be hearing a detailed breakdown from the CEO about exactly how they're able to accomplish this specific massive milestone. And then I'm going to come back and then we're going to go over exactly, what kind of price action to expect. What could we expect from financial analysts, going over exactly what kind of price target changes that we could potentially see for their outlook for the next year for 52-week price targets that they're going to be setting. So we're going to be talking about that after we hear from the CEO. So let's check out this video first.
Anthony, thanks for being here. Big quarter for you all. Profitable one, record revenue across the three businesses, solid profitable outlook as well. What are some of the key drivers that you think led to these results?
Well, Leslie, thank you for having me on. I'd say the strategy overall has really come into play and delivered exceptional results for the quarter. 6 years ago, we embarked on this very ambitious strategy to be a one-stop shop for all your financial services needs. When I joined the company in February 2018, we were primarily just a lender in two products. Today, we offer not just four types of loans, including home loans, but we also offer SoFi Money, which is a modern checking and savings account, SoFi Invest, SoFi credit card, insurance products, and we also power 140 million accounts across the fintech industry through our technology platform that we outsource to our partners. This quarter really reflects the fact that the financial services segment is now profitable and growing quite meaningfully. The tech platform business is also profitable with accelerating growth, and that's really the drivers of growth going in 2024 and less so the lending pieces. So it was a combination of that strategy over the last 6 years being invested in and then coming to fruition in 2023 with record revenue of over $2 billion and record Ebitda, and actually hitting our long-term Ebitda margins at 30%. And as you mentioned, GAAP profitability for the first time, which will sustain in 2024.
Yeah, and of course, this all comes against a macroeconomic backdrop that for a lot of lenders remains uncertain. And you have a pretty conservative outlook for 2024, baking in a 5% unemployment rate, 4 rate cuts, which is, of course, fewer than the market is pricing in. So what are you seeing in terms of customer spending trends, portfolio quality that is helping to inform your outlook for 2024?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we did take a very conservative view on the lending part of the business for 24. We are expecting 75% year-over-year revenue growth in our financial services segment and 20% year-over-year revenue growth in a tech platform, and really no growth in lending because of that conservative view that we're taking. We do expect credit to normalize. We're seeing those trends across the industry as well as at SoFi, and so we're taking a very cautious view there. In terms of underlying spending trends within SoFi Money, we had $1.6 billion of point-of-sale debit spending in the quarter. That's annualized at about $6 billion. It's up 3x from a year ago. We're seeing strength within existing accounts, but we're also adding new accounts, so it could be a little bit misleading. In addition to that, we have been observers of the broader market dynamics. We've seen some levels of liquidity dry up in certain markets. In addition to that, the largest banks have seen an increase relative to 7 and 10-year highs in write-offs, delinquencies, and then the provisions for losses of one of the largest banks were up 50% sequentially. So we're really bullish about our financial services segment, which is growing quite well, 75% for next year, and tech platform, but conservative on the lending side.
Hey, Anthony, some of the macro stuff that got commentary in the earnings last week was about real wage growth rising again after 2 years of shrinking. Is that starting to make itself felt within the metrics?
We're not actually seeing an impact on spending. We are obviously seeing a normalization of credit back to pre-COVID levels. So that's where it's showing up on the spending side. That is still strong, but the credit side across the industry as well as at SoFi is definitely normalizing, which is why we're taking a conservative view. The unique thing for SoFi is that in 24, 50% of our revenue will be from technology platform revenue and financial services, and 50% from lending. In previous years, it was as high as 80%. So we've gained scale and profitability in those two segments just in the right time as we enter 2024 and the concerns on the credit side.
So as you can see, we have SoFi stock, it's up to $9.16. Unfortunately, we've seen this kind of price action for SoFi in the past too. Even when you look at the previous price action for SoFi after they announced their earnings, the stock potentially goes up to the upside significantly. And then after, analysts comes out, different analysts from different banks, unfortunately, when they came out and they raise their price targets or they lower their price targets, the stock unfortunately goes in a downtrend and sells off. Unfortunately, that's what happens. But this time it might potentially be different because SoFi is profitable now and they beat their earnings by a massive amount, and we might potentially see, the momentum shift for SoFi. You might actually see a continuation move for SoFi instead of, some of the price action that we've seen in the past. As you can see this time, when they announced their earnings, the stock went up to like $11.70, and unfortunately it sold off for the next several weeks. And that's been going on in the past. When you look at the earnings announcements, even when we have like this continuation move that happened for SoFi, eventually it just sells off, and it's just been a massive sell-off that happens after earnings. We might have a continuation for the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, but those analysts from this competitive banks, when they come out and then they say they're going to be lowering their price targets or the stock is up a lot, we're seeing a potential issue when it comes to interest rates or something like that. The stock unfortunately reacts to those things and then it sells off. But right now we are doing really good, pretty good. We're sitting 20% to the upside. We might see continuation move to the upside. We might potentially hit like 10 or to $10.50 over here until we get those analysts coming out and doing a revision for SoFi stock. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think is going to be happening for SoFi stock? I know this has been really important for SoFi to hit profitability for Q4. It was expected to hit profitability for those of us that are super bullish for SoFi stock. We've been talking about SoFi stock for several months and we believed in SoFi stock, but unfortunately, the stock price just gets beat down several times by short sellers and by different analysts from competitor banks. So they come out, they lower their price targets, and unfortunately shorts pile in, and then the stock just barely moves that much. It just goes back to $6 to like $7 and $10. It's been within that range for several months. The max that we've seen SoFi for the last few months was like it hit like $11.70. That was the 52-week high that it hit. So it will be great if we hit new 52-week highs. So we'll see if that happens within the next few days, the next few weeks. But I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about SoFi stock? If you're holding, if you're buying, if you actually bought the dip when it was dipping around $6.40, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your gains. But I'll catch you guys on another video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. But I'll catch you guys on another video. Have a wonderful day.